Boys and girls, we are starting with a new shared reading book today. We are continuing our unit with nonfiction, okay? And today we will be reading The Web of Life. Let's go ahead and open up the book and we're going to see what the table of contents has. So here's our table of contents. We have the introduction, the role of a growing tree, the role of a fallen tree, the web of life continues. Boys and girls, I want you to think real fast. We are only going to be reading up to and through the end of the role of a growing tree. I want you to think for a second. What are some of the things that you think we will read about or we will learn about in the role of a growing tree? Zoe? How trees grow. Maybe how do trees grow? How do trees grow? You're thinking the same thing, Addison? Yeah. Brenna? Maybe. What are the things that you need to make a tree grow? And that's kind of what we're exploring in our science unit right now, isn't it, boys and girls? We're learning all the different things that a seed needs to grow into a brassica or to grow into grass. Absolutely. So I'm going to hands down real fast, and we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? All living things are connected to each other in many different ways. We call this the web of life. No plant or animal lives alone. Each depends in some way upon other plants and animals, and each has its own part in nature to play. Producer, consumer, or decomposer. Listen, no, I want to stop right here. Those words sound really familiar to me, producer and consumer. Where have we heard them before? Where have we heard about producers and consumers before? Luigi?
In like a book.
In a book, maybe? What book? I swear I have learned about these words before. I have learned about them. Lily?
Social studies.
In social studies. Boys and girls, thumbs up if you remember what producers and consumers are in social studies. We did. We did. Can someone refresh my memory? What is a producer and what is a consumer? What is a producer and what is a consumer? Max?
A producer is someone that makes something.
Okay.
And a consumer is someone that buys something.
So a producer is someone who makes something, and a consumer is someone who buys something. Boys and girls, I want you to keep that previous knowledge that we have, and I want us to apply it to what we're about to read about producers and consumers. And let's see if maybe they have the same ideas behind them, okay? One second. Green plants use energy from the sun to make their own food from water, air, and soil. They are producers. Animals eat the plants, or animals that eat the plants. Animals eat the plants, or animals that eat the plants. They are called consumers. It's kind of weird wording. So we said that earlier in social studies we learned that producers are people who make things. In the web of life, what are producers, boys and girls? They are plants who can make their own food. Consumers, we said, are people who go to the store to buy things. In the animal world, what is a consumer?
The person who eats it.
Yeah, the person who eats the plant, or the person who eats another animal. Other living things turn dead plants and animals into soil. They are called decomposers. Altogether, producers, consumers, and decomposers make up the web of life. A tree is the largest of all plants. It is also the biggest producer in the world. Nope, it is also the biggest producer in the web of life. Every spring, the tree grows new leaves, branches, flowers, and bark. At the same time, the trunk grows wider and stronger. Everything that grows on a tree provides food and energy for other living things. Boys and girls, right here we have all of these pictures, and we have these words underneath them. We call these words captions, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the picture, we're going to read the captions, and we're going to see how is it telling me more information about how trees provide food and energy for other living things, okay? So we have a mouse. The white-footed mouse eats seeds, leaves, and fruit from the tree. These mice usually hide during the day and search for food at night. Beetles often eat the leaves or bark of trees. This beetle is known as a click beetle because it makes a loud clicking sound if disturbed. Boys and girls, can you make the sound of the click beetle? Very nice. Anoles. Anoles are a kind of lizard. They eat the insects that they find on trees. So boys and girls, these are all examples of what? Of what? Aisha? Yeah, so Absolutely. What kind of animals are these? Are these producers, are these consumers, or are these decomposers? What are they? Ty?
The,
That's okay. If you can think of it, give your hand and raise again. Addison?
composers.
They are
Soup.
consumers. They are eating the food that they can find or eating the nutrients that they can find from a plant. Animals are of all kinds also find shelter and a place to hide in trees. Owls raise their young in a tree hollow. Robins build nests for their eggs in the branches. And the gray tree frog looks like a bump on the tree trunk. Can you guess how this helps it survive? How does that help it survive? Matthew?
Camouflage.
It camouflages, it blends in. You can barely even see that tree frog, can you? Absolutely. Yes, Ruta.
It's a bee, a consumer, or producer.
Can you repeat your question, buddy?
Or is bee a consumer?
Was it does a beetle make their own food or does a beetle a bee? Ooh, that's an interesting one because bees make honey. That's an interesting one.
Get honey
And eat from. Yeah. You want to Haruto? I will look that up and I will get back to you. Okay? In summer, the flowers of a tree grow into fruits. The fruits of the oak tree are called acorns. Inside the acorns are seeds for making new oak trees. Acorns are small, yet many living creatures find food to eat and protection from enemies inside of an acorn. So we're only going to read a few of these, boys and girls. We have an acorn weevil drills a hole and then lays an egg inside an acorn growing on an oak tree. We have a moth comes along. It lays eggs on the hole made by the weevil larva. A caterpillar hatches from this egg and eats more of the acorn. Tiny snails sneak into the acorn. They eat little bits of the leftover nut meat, whatever's inside of the acorn. And ants lay eggs and care for the larva inside of the acorn. Okay. Many wild birds and mammals eat acorns too. Red squirrels can break the hard shell easily with their chisel-like teeth. The chipmunk puts acorns inside of its cheek pouches and scurries away. And deer find a good supply of acorns in the woods where they live. Bears, foxes, and wild turkeys are some of the other large animals that like to eat acorns. Boys and girls, this is where we are going to stop today. We will finish reading the book later this week, but that is where we are going to stop today. I would like to remind you, boys and girls, while we were reading, we used the captions, we used the table of contents to help us better understand what it is that we were reading about, what it is that we were trying to learn. That, boys and girls, is what your job is during Read to Self. We all have a nonfiction book that we were given at the guided reading table in our nonfiction book clubs. And you were given extra sticky notes, boys and girls, to use your nonfiction text features. If you haven't already done so, boys and girls, that is your number one job during Read to Self. That is your number one job because today's learning target, boys and girls, is I can use nonfiction text features to help me read nonfiction books. Okay, let's go ahead and add that up to our learning target up here. Right, here's my pen. So I can use nonfiction text features to better understand hard writing up here, boys and girls, what I read. I will be pulling each and every one of you in your book clubs for your nonfiction books today, boys and girls, and this is what we will be talking about. How did you use your nonfiction text features, your glossary, your index, your captions, your graphs to better understand the book, okay? In just a second, I'm going to send you off to Read to Self. I would like to remind you, not only is this your first priority, boys and girls, but when you get done rereading your nonfiction book, You are to grab and make sure that you are reading a fiction story. Can someone remind me, what is a fiction story? What is a fiction story? Kaylin? A book that is made up. So Clifford, Fly Guy, Pete the Cat, anything from Kevin Hankey's or Robert Munch, okay, boys and girls? And you are to do your sticky note jocks because that is what we are doing our reading responses on still, okay? Yes, Luigi?
I don't know animal that can camouflage.
What's another animal that can
A
camouflage?
walking stick.
Oh, walking stick, absolutely. Absolutely. You girls are working the same thing. Off you go, boys and girls. Happy reading, okay? Oh, I'll give you your next one. I thought I gave you 3, but if not, I'll give you your next one, okay? Come see me just a
watch
second.
the video? What you
Could I get Zoe,
recorded?
Aisha, Jillian, and Maddie, please?
No. What you recorded? Not yet.
Yeah, Damon. The velocity, the index. So let's look at it doesn't have it all.
Okay, go on and start carrying out your letters.
What do you think you need that this morning? Jillian, you are to be going with Miss Sisanavis, okay, honey?
And is Aisha here today?
Aisha is here, yes. Aisha! She must have snuck out in the hallway with you, without you already.
Sneaky. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Grab your book. Did y'all not get to finish your books?
I finished 2 sticky notes.
Okay, did you finish your entire book?
Yeah.
Perfect. Go ahead and get started whenever you're ready, buddy. Pull up a chair. There's an extra chair there.
New one. I don't even know where we should be home today.
Go ahead and get your mom first.
Huh? I don't want to hear that.
Go ahead and get your mom first. What sound is that? What is Army? This is Army. What sound is it? Robin. So buildings can be damaged or so a little closer. What does onion say? And so what would you what? Boys, go ahead and put your browsing boxes on the ground, but keep your books out, please. That's fine. Put your browsing box on the ground, but keep your books out, please. Hey, Damon, can you keep your natural disaster book out for me, buddy? Yeah. That's what we're going to talk about. Okay?
And if a frog lay eggs in that land, it'll be 2 miles downstream before you can say, ribbit.
Bummer. Yeah. Boys, I'm interested in knowing what are some of the things that we learned while we finished up reading about natural disasters? What are some of our new learnings? What are some of our new learnings? Jaden?
The rescuers sometimes don't want us to find all that in the houses that
Okay. So how people are rescued when there are natural disasters, right? And sometimes they use dogs. Why would they use dogs, boys and girls? Boys, what do we know about dogs? Why would they use dogs to help find people? Do you know, Luigi?
because dogs, they can like sniff the tracks of the person.
They can. Dogs have really good nose, don't they? They can sniff the tracks of people. What else did we learn, boys, about natural disasters?
Floods are made out of rain.
Floods are made from rain, and it's a lot of water, absolutely. Absolutely. Hi.
After earthquake happens, it makes people difficult to stand.
It makes it difficult to stand
After the earthquake.
after the earthquake. Boys, we talked about this a little bit on Friday. What is an earthquake? Does anyone remember what we said an earthquake was? What is an earthquake? Max?
When the earth shakes.
When the earth shakes. When the earth shakes. And we looked at one of our pictures and one of our graphs, and it kind of showed us how earthquakes form, right? Luigi, what did you learn? You had to remember for a while.
I don't know what this is, but if it happens, like all the plants would die and people and the animals, they could die if they don't find the food they need.
Absolutely. So we call that a drought. A drought. Droughts, boys, are when there are no water and no rain. And look at the picture that Luigi has in his book of a drought. Okay, you can go ahead and turn to page 6 and 7. Damon, you can open up your book, buddy, to 6 and 7 to see what a drought looks like, okay?
And Dad likes the anxiety attack if I don't get out of here.
Ah. Look at this, boys. Look at the ground. There's absolutely no water there.
Or grass.
No water or no grass. Grass can't survive those without the water, can it?
Cracks and
It is. It is. And that is what we call a drought. That is what we call a drought. What are some of the places, boys, that you use the nonfiction text features, where you use the graph to help you better understand? Or you use your glossary or your index? Hi, what is a way that you use the nonfiction features?
it says separate noise and feelings.
Okay.
And the picture helps me. It shows me how much
So the picture, you were wondering, I'm guessing you were saying that, you're like, how much damage does it actually do? Like, what does the damage look like? So if you have Ty's book, you can open up to page 8 and 9. And is it okay if I pass your book around real fast? Look at how much damage the shock is to.
Wow.
And that's from an earthquake right there. And so he was wondering, I wonder how much damage earthquakes do. Look at that right there, Damon. Look at all the damage that an earthquake does.
Huh?
That's from an earthquake. Look at that.
Earthquake?
Or an earthquake, yep. When the
Tornado?
ground shakes. When the ground shakes.
Ground shakes?
Mm-hmm.
Earthquakes? Where is all this going?
That's a natural disaster, but that happens out in California. We have some out in California too. And that's what it looks like. What's another way, boys, that we use the nonfiction features to help us better understand what we were reading? Max?
I better understood how they get away if there's an emergency with this picture.
What's that picture? What is that picture showing you?
People getting in a plane or a car and going away.
People getting in a plane or a car and going away. Absolutely. Is it okay if I pass around the picture, bud? Thank you. Look at this, boys. This is how people get away. This is how people get away when there is a volcano. That's how they escape. So we learned that people get rescued from dogs. That's what Jaden taught us, that people use dogs to help us get rescued. And these are other ways that you can escape to get away from it before it happens, right? Look at that picture, Damon. That's how people get away from a volcano. Oh, interesting. Yes, Jaden.
I learned that some buildings have a special material, so if there's an earthquake, it doesn't fall down, and it shows us what pictures that the building is shaking.
The building. So you can see the building shaking in a photo? That's really cool. That's okay. I like, Jaden, I like that. Oh, I found it. Perfect. So you can see the building is shaking. Jaden's going to pop that book up so everyone can see it.
If you haven't even know
And how they prevent the buildings from falling. Boys, hold on. Put your hands on the front side. Boys, I want you to think about how we just read all of these nonfiction books. Can you turn it and listen to this game? It's going to be really cool for just a second, okay? And I'll let you get back to reading yourself. Okay? Boys, I'd like you to think about how we've been reading our nonfiction books. We read them in chunks. We read them by the chapters, and we got our mind ready for each chapter. We thought, what is this chapter going to tell me about? So we started thinking about it. We sticky noted things that we learned and any confusions that we had. And then we went back and we said, how can the photos or the glossary or the index help me better understand what I'm reading? This is exactly how you should be reading all of our nonfiction books. Okay? You'll be getting tomorrow a new book. We'll all be in a different group. After we decide, we'll choose a new group, okay, for nonfiction. And this is what we're going to be doing for the next several weeks to really get us in the habit of reading nonfiction with a purpose, with a goal in mind, okay? Yes, Ty? Yes, one last sticky note, and then I'm going to collect your books, okay?
Birds get frightened right away when
Ooh, so birds get frightened before humans do, right away, when an earthquake is happening. Very interesting. Boys, can I have you please leave your natural disaster books here with me? Because I'm going to take these so I can give them to some more of our little friends in just a second. Just for tomorrow, okay? And off you go. Happy reading. Your read, okay?
As the year passes, the seasons sing. In most cases, they are four seasons: summer, autumn, winter, and spring. During summer, you can play outside in the hot weather. In autumn, the weather is colder. The leaves on many trees change color, and they fall to the ground. In some places, it's
Boys and girls, go ahead and put your browsing box on the ground, but keep your books out, please. Keep your books out, okay? Let's go about our KW chart that we started, that we've been heading to as well. Okay, I'm interested in knowing what are some of the things that we learned? We were told to read the rest of our books about weather and to finish them off so we could come and chat about it today. What else did we learn about the weather? What else did we learn? We're going to start over here and we're going to go all the way around, okay? Thank you.
when it gets colder, birds start to go to warmer places.
Birds start to fly to warmer places when it gets cooler. Thumbs up, boys, if you have ever noticed that in the winter there are no birds really out here. But all of a sudden in the summer you have robins and you have blue jays, right?
Yeah, like we have like a robin and
You do. Very cool. Very cool.
I saw a bunch of birds
You did?
flying.
I wonder if that means that spring's going to come soon. Fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. You're right, he did. Okay, here we go. Take us away, buddy. What else is it that you learned? The sky is full of dark gray rain clouds during winter. During winter, wow. So I'm seeing that we're both learning about winter, but we're learning about two different things that happen during winter. Birds fly south for it to get cold, and then we have lots of weather that's based off the season. Absolutely. Mason, what is something else that you learned, bud?
That elephants find water from smelling it.
Elephants can find water from smelling it. I have a question. Did you finish reading, and this is just because I read Mason's book, and I think it's kind of interesting and important. You read, buddy, about the water cycle, didn't you? Yeah. Can you tell us about what we learned about the water cycle? Because his whole book, boys and girls, is about water and the wind. And what's so special about this book is it teaches us about the water cycle and how the water cycle is a part of weather. So can you go ahead and share the water cycle with us? And this is a great place for us to be able to use the pictures and the captions.
So water from lakes and stuff go into the clouds.
Okay.
And then the clouds rain the water from the ocean.
Okay. So we have water that's in lakes or that's in rivers or that's in oceans that gets what we say evaporated. Can you boys and girls say the word evaporated?
Evaporated.
Evaporated. Can I steal your book up, ask Mason, so I can show the picture? Look at this, boys and girls. And so we have right here this book. There's a picture, and it shows all these areas and it shows the water being evaporated up into the sky by the sun. And then Mason said something else. What is it? The word unframed. looked at the table of contents, used the index, we used the glossary, and today especially, we use the pictures and the captions. This one of the books over here to really understand some of the harder concepts and some of the harder topics about weather, okay? Boys and girls.
The stars are very far away. They look like points on the sun is a star too. It looks much bigger than the other stars because they are so close to it.
Okay, please go ahead and close your books or you can stop reading right wherever you're at, okay? And I want us to talk about what are some more things that we have learned. You were given the assignment to finish reading the sun's family of stars or about gravity and the solar system. What are some more things that we learned about outer space in finishing reading up our stories or our nonfiction books? What else did we learn? What else did we read? You were supposed to read the entire book. You were supposed to finish the entire book. Did you finish it? No? Okay, I'm going to need you to go sit right over here real fast, Shop, and finish reading it, okay? Because we can't talk without reading our story. That was what our assignment was. What is something else that you learned?
I learned the rings Saturn has ice on it and rocks.
Ooh, so look, can I show you your picture so that way so that way the video can see it? He has a book with all the planets, and he has Saturn up close. And look at all those rings, and the rings are made of ice and water. Tiny bits, so small pieces of ice and water, and that's how we get the rings that go all around Saturn. How cool is that? I always thought it was just like light, didn't you? Maybe just light that was right there.
No, I thought it was like force of gravity, like.
So maybe the force of gravity pulling something to it. That's how the rocks and the ice stay around Saturn, though, is the force of gravity. Good scientific thinking there, bud. What is something that you learned, Leo?
I learned that a 12 years to get to
A spacecraft can take 12 years to get to Neptune. What does that tell us about the planet? It is very far away.
I have a graph.
Very, very far. You have a graph of the planets? We would love to look at your graph of the planets. Neptune. Look at this. So Neptune is the very last planet. Boys, your books, and I have to tell you this right now, your books are much older than about you are. They're probably about your age. They're very old. And Pluto is no longer considered a planet.
Why?
They no longer, because it's so small. It's so small and it doesn't orbit correctly that they no longer consider Pluto to be a planet. It does. It orbits the sun, but it doesn't orbit in the same fashion that the other planets do. Okay? So, and because it's so small and so far away, it's now considered a dwarf planet, which means it's not a regular planet. How sad is that? How sad is that they no longer consider Pluto to be a planet? You see that? It's very, very tiny. Well, and what are some of the ways, boys, that we used our nonfiction text features to help us understand better?
Big, but just not way more.
It's way smaller than the others, but look, it's not even the size of Earth. It's smaller than Earth is.
Inverse.
You're right. What are some of the ways that you used your nonfiction text features, Zachariah? I see you have the index. Okay. Alright, so he flipped to his index and he said, I need to learn more about Neptune or a specific planet. And he looked at the pages that it had. Good thinking,
I
guys.
looked in the glossary and I looked in the course and it could push, pull, or twist.
Push, pull, or twist. Your book had a lot to do with force, didn't it? Michelle, are you ready to come join us, buddy? Thank you so much for finishing your book. We're just still talking about what we're learning and how we used our nonfiction text features, okay? So I'll let you sit down and I'll let you to listen to Leo about how he used his glossary. Okay? How did you use your glossary again, Leo?
I saw a look at the words,
Okay?
and I saw that force can push or twist.
Okay, so a force is something that push, pulls, or twists. What part of space has to deal with the force? What part of space uses a force or has a force with it? The solar system, yep. They have to push and pull things. What is it? What is that force called? What is that force called, Zachariah? Gravity. Gravity is the force that pushes things together or pulls things, right? We talked about that last time that we met on Friday. Very nice use of your glossary to learn more about what the force was when we're talking about it. Rashad, what is something that you've learned, buddy, while reading about your outer space book?
I learned that
That's fine. Just mention something to us that you learned about the solar system. What is something new that you learned about the solar system while reading?
in the solar system, I learned about the sun. I learned all about the planet. The new stars formed and just our sun.
Okay.
All the other planets, they went to it started to go in orbit around the sun.
Okay, so he learned that in the middle of our solar system a star formed, and we call it the sun, and that all the planets orbit around, or they go around, they circle around the sun. Very interesting learning about that. Boys, I am going to collect your books, okay? Because next week you're going to be in a new nonfiction. Even number tables, come join me on the carpet for our sharing circle. Can I please have all my odd number tables come join me on the carpet for our sharing circle? Done, boys and girls. Thank you. That's great. In today's sharing circle, boys and girls, we are going to be talking about what we did during Read to Self or during guided reading to make ourselves a better reader, okay? As well as what is it that we learned in these nonfiction book clubs for these past 4 days. Tomorrow we all talked about how we're getting new groups. We're going to be grouping ourselves differently. So what is it that we learned about oceans? What is it that we learned about animals? That is what we are going to talk about, okay? And as a friendly reminder, make sure that you are adding on to what other people have said previously. What do you agree with what they said and why? What do you disagree with about what they said and why? Okay, boys and girls? We will start off with Zachariah.
I used my index.
Can you explain some more?
When I was trying to find a page, I flipped to the index and I found it. I agree with him because
Why would you agree that it's a good thing to use your index?
it tells you what the wording is.
Maybe where you can flip to in the nonfiction book? Absolutely. What did you do to make yourself a better reader, Jillian?
I needed to table the contents because I was looking for a page and I forgot what it was, and then I flipped back and I found the page after.
Very nice. You did that too, Luigi?
I showed them. I did that too, and I used the picture to help me find out what the word is. Like, I made this picture to help me, know how, to see how much they really should.
You're right. I remember you showing it to all of us.
I agree with Jim and Ty because when I was reading my book Oceans, I found glacier that went so glaciers.
I think that was Photoshop. Photoshop. That's fine. That's fine. Anyone else who would like to share what they did during Read the Psalm today and how they made themselves a better reader? Take us away, Benna. Speak up loud, confidence. So we'll just take it away. Go ahead. Nice work today, boys and girls, during Read to Self. Nice work. In just a second, I'm going to have you move to your carpet letter. And I'm going to pull 6, not yet, I haven't asked you to. And we are going to pull 6 boys and girls so that way we can start our new nonfiction groups tomorrow. So if you were in animals this week, you will then choose a different group. If you are in space this week, you would choose a different group. So a group that you have not read with yet, okay? Doesn't matter the people in it, just the topic. When I say, I don't call anyone, scoot back, mister. Okay, when I say go, I would like everyone to move to their carpet letter. Go.